Hey, Shalom Akim. Call hello Yahweh, Shem Yahushua, Shem Rakar Wadash. Of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and the byways, pushing the truth across the four corners of this earth, while time allows us to do so. All right. Hey, as we've been trying to tell you these last few months, shit is about to, kick off here. So here we have in Washington State, they've issued order, activated the National Guard, as he's going to go into. I have also gotten reports that the Klan has threatened black women, and this threat is supposedly in effect until Inauguration Day, and Inauguration Day just happens to fall on MLK Day. How about that? You can't make this shit up. But in any case, let's go ahead and roll the video.
In response to potential election unrest and interference, a state's National Guard troops were just activated by the governor. Into this video, I want to tell you about one of the new sponsors and supporters of this channel, which is Home Title Lock. This sponsor can actually save you a lot of time, money, and honestly, a huge legal headache. I'm sure a lot of you are not aware that there is this big wave in a new kind of growing criminal activity that is targeting and stealing home titles without people even knowing. I decided to protect my home and my own home title through Home Title Lock. I've, used their dashboard. It's very easy. It shows all the title activity. And really the best part is that if something does ever happen to you, their team over at Home Title Lock will handle the entire legal process and they will restore the title for you so you don't have to go through that headache. So I can't recommend them enough. It's super easy to use. And if you're interested, you can check them out using the link down below in the details section and also in the pinned comment. And right now they are offering you a free 30-day trial and a comprehensive title scan so that you can make sure that your property is actually safe. As I mentioned in the intro, in this video, we're going to be talking about some very interesting news, which is kind of leading into this election and in direct response about potential unrest and potential interference with this upcoming election. The governor of Washington just activated the Washington National Guard to potentially respond to any election unrest or any attacks on the election infrastructure. We all suspected that maybe there would be some sort of small pockets of unrest and maybe some...
Let's check something real quick, because I got a sneaky suspicion. Hold on. Hold the hell on. Let's see. Let's see. I got a sneaky suspicion here. Let's see. Whoops. Let's see. No. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. The Evergreen State, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. The governor, Democrat. Wow. I should have known. So, well, he's going to cover it. It just happened to be a Democrat.
Some issues because of the outcome of the election, one way or the other. Well, now you have a state acknowledging that there is a risk, that there's a risk of unrest, that there is potential unrest that is being reported, potential risks to the election itself and some infrastructure. And because of that, the governor in the state is taking preemptive actions to activate the National Guard to respond to any of those issues. This response by the state of Washington also is in direct response to reports that they have received from the Department of Homeland Security about potential issues. So not only are they kind of doing this on their own, but they got reports from the Department of Homeland Security that is saying there is an issue, there is risk, and therefore you need to take actions. Now, this letter was issued by Governor Inslee in the state of Washington, and it was sent to the National Guard in the state, and it was dated November 1st, 2024, and it was sent to Major General Gent Welsh. The title of the letter says, Activation of Washington National Guard Assets to Support Public Safety Activities Related to the 2024 Election. The letter states, Dear Major General Welsh, based upon general and specific information and concerns regarding the potential for violence or other unlawful activity related to the 2024 general election.
See, here's the thing. All right, regardless of who wins, there's going to be some shit. All right. So why everybody's focusing on, the Republicans, if they lose, they go. Well, have you considered if the Dems lose? I mean, I've seen more these Dems waking out, all right, and they use that January 6th shit. I mean, they exploited that for all it's worth and more, and then some. All right, insurrection. There wasn't no insurrection. Motherfucking police let them in. Yeah, they broke up some shit and shitted on, whatever they did, man, they used, like they say, what's the saying about in politics? Basically, I can't remember verbatim, but basically, shit is not, doesn't happen, or, it's no accidents. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They love gaslighting people, I tell you. But, yeah, and then there's this voting thing where you've got people that are not even citizens voting, and it's the Democratic Party. This is the ones that are allowing for this shit. Let all these people, illegals, come in. And in the meantime, I'm hearing more and more Ukrainian accents as I'm walking out here in the store today. I'm like, and these, while you concentrating on Northern Kingdom, everybody else is just, quietly coming in. Wow. It's I'll just be glad when all this shit is over, But again, I'll be so happy to see all these people going at each other. It's a beautiful thing to see.
I want to ensure we are fully prepared to respond to any potential additional civil unrest of the type described in RCW 38.08.040 occurring within Washington state leading up to, on, and potentially extending beyond November 5th.
See, they've always had this planned out. And this is the thing you got to understand. All this shit that's been going on for years now, all this is staged more or less, because the end result is to try to get the common man to say, hey, wait, we're tired of this shit. We're willing to give up our rights so that we can be safe. So in other words, they're making things hard in order to get you to voluntarily. Because the thing is, throughout history, most of the time when you try to force shit like this on people, it doesn't work. So these Amalekites are clever enough to finally say, hey, that's not going to work. Let's try this. And that's what's happening. All right. You saw how easy it was when 9/11 happened. And we know what really happened with that. But you'd be surprised how many people to this day don't realize that was an inside job. They still think some people with box cutters. These are the same people that believe in the moon landing. I mean, come on now. This is what you're dealing with. What do you expect? All right. This is the devil, a liar and deceiver. What do you expect? But his spell, that covering, and let's go get it real quick in Isaiah 25th chapter. Let's get it in, hold on. Let's get it in the parallel. That covering cast is wearing, that veil has been lifted. It says, and he will destroy on this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. All right. 2 Corinthians 3:15. But even to this day, when Moses is read, a veil lies on their heart. What was the other one? Oh yeah. Nevertheless, let's see. Got to 18. But we all with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory. Okay, I think you get it. It says, NLT, there he will remove the cloud of gloom, the shadow of death that hangs over the earth. All right? Because people are not only with that, but they are so heavily infatuated with this devil. All right? And, he's been given demigod-like status in the earth. All right, and he will destroy in this mountain. All right, or swallow up the face of the covering cast. All right. So yeah. But the thing is, that has eroded to the point where now people that were constantly calling others conspiracy theories are like, what? What? You mean? Now they're looking side-eyed. All right. And this devil knows that he can't go on like this because, and the big thing was the internet. Of course, overall, it's Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. It's the Most High ultimately pulling the strings here. Because, like you say, these prophecies must and will be fulfilled. The Most High's word does not come back void in Isaiah 55th chapter. All right? So let's continue on.
2024, the date of the 2024 general election. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has warned that threats to election infrastructure during the 2024 election cycle remains high. The southwest region of the Washington state has already experienced specific instances of election-related unrest. On October 28, 2024, an incendiary device was set off in a drop box in Vancouver, Washington, damaging or destroying hundreds of ballots, and a similar device targeted a ballot box in Portland, Oregon. In response to that situation described above and the potential for further violence and illegal activity, I am directing the Washington State National Guard to prepare to provide critical public safety support by activating necessary Washington National Guard personnel in a standby status. In this role, the Washington National Guard will support local law enforcement and the Washington State Patrol as needed. It goes on to state that our state depends on these skilled individuals for critical support to protect the public health, safety, and welfare, to include support necessary to protect vital infrastructure related to carrying out the free and fair elections, and to respond to any unrest related to the 2024 general election. Preparation to respond to civil unrest of the type already experienced will also require state-level coordination and the activation of additional support functions within the Washington's emergency management system. Under RCW 38.08.040, I am authorized to order the Washington National Guard or any part thereof into active service of the state to perform such duty as I deem proper when required for the public health, safety, and welfare, and to prepare for events described in RCW 38.08.040. I find that such preparation and this activation of the Washington National Guard is required now for the protection of the public health, safety, and welfare of the state of Washington and its agencies and the people they serve. serve. Therefore, I, Jay Inslee, Governor of the State of Washington, pursuant to that RCW, and in response to the above reference requests, and believing such action is necessary for preserving public health, safety, and welfare, order into temporary active state service for up to 4 days beginning Monday, November 4th, 2024, as many members as the Washington National Guard as may be necessary and deemed appropriate for the circumstances described above in the opinion to support public safety efforts related to the 2024 election, as well as activation of support functions within Washington's emergency management system. The order of activation expires at 12:01 a.m. on November 8th, 2024. Yours very truly, Jay Inslee, the Governor of the State of Washington. So that's the letter that was sent out by the state governor to the National Guard there for the activation of troops and support, which will be on standby from Monday all the way until November 8th. And they're standing by to support if there's unrest or any other type of election issues. Now, in the press release released by the governor of the state of Washington, he stated that today Governor Jay Inslee activated some Washington National Guard members to be on standby in the event they are asked to support local law enforcement and the Washington State Patrol during the election week. This is a purely precautionary measure taken in response to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's nationwide warnings regarding threats to election infrastructure and other recent activities that have occurred in Southwest Washington. So that was the press release sent out in response to this letter. And now Welsh, the National Guard general there, who oversees over 8,000 soldiers and various airmen in the Washington National Guard, will now determine and decide how many he wants to activate and have on standby during this week during the election. There is also the potential that if something does happen, that the activation could be extended beyond just the expressed days that have been mentioned in the press release and also in the letter. Now, of course, this is concerning, and in some regard, it's very concerning because you have a state that felt that there was enough risk to the election and enough potential for unrest that they are preemptively getting a response ready. They're activating troops of the National Guard to respond to any issues. And this is also concerning because here they are responding directly to something that they were notified by the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security sent them some sort of notice and information about potential unrest and election issues, and because of that, they are taking direct response. This is also concerning in some ways in light of the discussions that we've had going on around the DoD Directive 5240.01, which allows the DoD intelligence components to assist local and state law enforcement during unrest and issues where there's potential lethal force being used by local law enforcement or state law enforcement against civilians, potentially authorizing lethal force and the use of federal assets in those situations. And also concerning within that directive, there are permissions where for 72 hours during an exigency, during something like unrest, that federal component, the intelligent component, can move and assist state and local law enforcement without the required authorization from the Secretary of Defense. Eventually, they would need to get that authorization, but they, for 72 hours, can act on their own. Now, I highly doubt that the DoD directive would be used in any situation like this one, but generally it is concerning that you have a governor here acknowledging that there is potential unrest within his state in regards to the election, that there is potential issues about the infrastructure for the election and people trying to, use incendiaries and light up ballots and try to interfere in some way with them, and then just general issues at large about unrest. And who knows how many other states will try to do the same thing, will have a lot of National Guard on standby or take some sort of action. Yeah. Who knows, what other states have been notified by the Department of Homeland Security that they also have issues within their own state. So I know everyone's kind of unsettled about the upcoming election and you have concerns. Please stay
because they're having that, they've been fencing off Howard University because of, old girl who's fooled a lot of Jake, Kamala Harris, or Imhoff. I call her by her real name. She's Imhoff. All right, so they're going to have this election watch thing at Howard University here. Man.
Stay vigilant and make sure you get out and vote, because every vote matters. Don't think that your vote is useless. We need as many votes as possible right now. So make sure you, your family, your friends, and everybody you know gets out and votes. Now, if anything else develops in regards to this type of action, the National Guard or Washington or the states, I will let you guys know. Also, if you like this video and you like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment.
Yeah, so, like I say, to see all of this come to pass, like the scriptures have said, all right, and you notice you got a lot of quiet people now. Because things aren't looking too good. And he's talking about go out and vote. Like I said, no matter who wins this, and it's hard to say at this point because, like I say, they're all have bought in. Both of them are working together. Remember Revelation 13, verse 11. All right, this two-party bullshit. It doesn't matter because the ones that actually are in rulership, they're going to decide who. They watch. You're going to hear a lot of this electoral college shit. And clearly, they do not want this man. Another thing, what they're going to try to do that I got word of is, let's just say Trump wins. He's declared, and they've also said, well, it's going to take 2 weeks. So they're letting you know right off the bat that some strange shit could happen here. But in any case, let's say he wins. Well, supposedly they're going to use the 14th Amendment before he's sworn in to declare him unfit. That January 6th shit. So I don't like they had this shit all set up for a long time now. All right. What other reason would you have for that petty ass shit to be taken so seriously? And for those people to be allowed, yes, they were allowed to do all that shit. And again, what's the saying in politics? All right. You can't let any situation go to waste, especially the one that you set up. And then they come out with this bullshit ass commission. And I mean, man, they used to fucking. People went to jail. People still going to jail. All right. And this guy, if he wins, I'm talking about Trump, he already said he's going to pardon them. They don't want that. All right. And regardless, like I said, it doesn't matter who wins. We lose regardless. No one's going to do right by us. That's why we're telling you, fuck this place. You need to get into these scriptures. It's Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai that are going to look out for us. All right. But the irony of all this is that we as a camp, we're in, because I believe it's next weekend, you have Hanukkah coming up. And we're studying Maccabees. And, you had a whole lot of Jake that sided with the enemy. This shit doesn't change, Scriptures on that. Ecclesiastes 1:9. You're still dealing with, human nature. A lot of people with, people just do not get it. These same spirits coming back. But in any case, that's all I had for this. I don't think this will be the only one. The least little thing, they're going to try to use that excuse, especially in those Democratic-run states like this one, Washington State, he was talking about. So with that, once again, this is the Armed Scholar here, this site. So stay vigilant. I'm going to use his expression. We always say stay circumspect, especially now. All right. So with that, until the next video, hey, shalom.